Hey, Mark, thanks for signing up for a portfolio review. And also thank you for the coffees. I really appreciate that. I have your portfolio here and I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and let's talk about it. So I quickly just looked through it just to get an idea of what kind of work you do and maybe some opportunities of where we could potentially improve. So I noticed you're using a platform called Dunked. I'm not really familiar with it, but it looks like it's doing its job. The one thing that I was looking for immediately, and I kind of understood now how this is working, is like looking for some sort of like other navigation items. Not to say that you need them. I clicked in your bio, and the one thing that I'm missing is a little bit more background of your experience. Now, it's something that I'm kind of recommending a lot to other designers as well. I know a lot of people usually send over their resume and their CV as a separate document, but it doesn't hurt to have like your previous roles and your experience on your website somewhere, on your portfolio somewhere. And that could just be, like mentioning the company, how long you worked there. You don't have to have a big, long, in-depth description or anything like that, but that's definitely super helpful. I know a lot of the times people will just look at your portfolio website and may or may not even look at your resume. So that's something that could be useful. I saw that you have 9 years of experience. You have experience in branding, print design, digital illustration, and you're currently learning UX UI, which is great. I clicked through some of your projects and I have a few notes. One thing immediately that I noticed is that this is the only thing with motion on it, which is like, for me, a little distracting, because that is the only tile that has motion. And so like it kind of just like yelling at me, screaming at me to click on it. And so I question, can other tiles have motion, or does it need to have this repeating animation over and over again? Something to think about. Prudential, I don't know where you're located, but Prudential Center is right near me. Well, never mind. The Prudential Center in New Jersey. Anyway, not Prudential Bank. So the quality of work looks great. And I noticed that you also have some pretty robust descriptions here. It's the background to create captivating scenes. So one thing that I like to kind of mention when we're writing descriptions for our projects is you want to talk about the brief or the objective. So Doyle's, a small startup distillery. You work together with them to create a brand, to create a label and a brand identity and materials for them that would help them grow as a company. Work closely with the client, identify their needs and goals to make their brand stand out, blah, blah, blah. Into the logo and label design, took that feedback and developed a creative concept that reflects the brand's vision. Cool. Client also wants a theme to run through a range of products. Future. Could easily be adapted. Awesome. So this is a cool project. Quality looks great. Yeah, I mean, this is like a great project. You have great images. You are showing how like your description does a lot of the work, where it's like, yeah, I work with them to create a sort of system that they can grow into later on if they decide to expand their line of liquors or whatever they offer. You did some ads for them, great. And then you also showed some of your process, which I think is really helpful. So this is a good project. I clicked into Breakmax before, and there is some, again, I'm gonna get nitpicky because I think your quality of work is really good. But I think there's some discrepancies, or there's some slight differences in the way you describe your projects, right? So whether this was like a self-initiated project or school project or actually client project, I think you need to give yourself a bit of a format to follow with your descriptions. So I work with Breakmax to develop a brand identity that would allow them to expand their product line or whatever it may be, whatever that goal was, right? I was able to create a unique captivating logo, lines of the brand's visuals. Sure, of course. Next, I turned my attention to packaging. I incorporated the brand pen colors. Yeah, so that sentence for me is like a little fluffy. It's like, of course, you're going to use the brand colors and the things that you created that align with it. Perhaps it's just, you could present this as a branding project where you worked on the brand, you developed what the logo was, and approach describing this project like that, where, that's where a lot of the work into, and then you use what you develop, the identity, to extend out to packaging and advertising and things like that. Because at the end of the day, for me, this screams like branding and visual identity, and not so much that like packaging and, like I don't necessarily need to know like you made advertisements for them. I can see that with some of the work that you created here and the images that you're showing. Carefully captures their innovative and forwarding approach to fire protection. Competitors, I sketched out multiple ideas. From there, refine ideas. Yeah, again, so like this, the imagery that you've put together works. It's like great, awesome. Maybe try to like find mocks for these images, right? Because like this is some sort of ad or poster or something. So perhaps like that makes more sense. And showing it in that kind of situation rather than just a flat image here. Getting really nitpicky is that like your descriptions vary in like depth and format from project to project, right? So it's like, oh, I just had the pleasure of working with this company to create a brand new logo. Great. Whereas in Doyle's, you had a little bit more background, you had a little bit more detail added in some of those. If I could recommend, I would say like, okay, your quality of work is good. How do we start to like work on the presentation of you and the visual identity of you and your website and your portfolio and your work and things like that, right? How do we start to work on that bit so that it makes you stand out more? Because again, I think your quality of work is good. I think you can just, tweak a few things when it comes to the descriptions of your projects. But for the most part, I think it's good. And now I think you could, really think about how you want to present yourself. How do you want to present yourself as a designer? What do you look like? What do you sound like when you're not there in front of someone presenting that? So yeah, I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, you have my email, and I will be sending over a document with all these notes and link to this recording. So again, thank you so much, Mark, for signing up, and thank you for the coffees. I appreciate it. Have a good day.